Okay, so funny enough, the 4 books I read this month, they were all soft copies, so I won't be showing you the book here. So for the first book I read this January, Midnight Library. So Midnight Library, I recommend if it was given a self-help book vibe, but it's a fantasy book, and I loved what the author did. You know, there's a line that's stuck with me. It said, "It's easy to mourn the life you haven't lived," you know. And the book helps you understand why the ifs shouldn't exist. Like, what if for example, let's say um you maybe now you are a singer, and maybe initially you wanted to be maybe a doctor, and maybe the singing part is not working out well, and then you're like, I would have just been a doctor. Maybe being a doctor would have my life would have been easier, my life would have been better, or maybe I would have moved to Enugu would have been nicer for me to be in Abuja. You know, when you have those thoughts, sometimes it's not, the life might not even be better. So at the end of that, I think the book is just saying, wherever you find yourself, whatever it is you're doing, just enjoy it, do it. So the book, the summary is that there was should I say this? Am I going to give out too much? Okay, I'll just say this. A woman, a young lady struggling, you know, trying to get through life, and then she tried to kill herself. So she was in between life. There's a passage between life and death, so she was in that passage throughout the book. So that's the Midnight Library. So it's a good read. We recommend that. So the second book I read Mothers and Daughters by Erica Moore. So this book was the book that was what was recommended at the book club. You know, I have a book club where we go to review books every month. Yeah, so that was what we chose. That was what we're going to read for the month. I liked the book. I'm laughing because the book club, we had a meeting on the 28th. That was on Sunday, and the reviews, okay, I'm not going to say that, but you didn't have like good reviews, and people didn't really like the book. But I liked it, though the writing was very simple, and just it was flat. It was flat, but it had, you know, the book talked about families, you know, this generational trauma, how things you accept in your marriage can actually affect your kids. It touched parents having favorites, or maybe just having just, this is my favorite kid, this is not. It talked about abuse. It talked about sadists. Yeah, so it's a good read. If you the only thing I didn't like about the book was the fact that I felt the writer was trying to not have a villain in the book. Like, even the terrible people had this whitewashing at the end of the day. But anyways, in reality, people get away with whatever they do. So yeah, I recommend it. It's if you look past the writing and just focus on the story, yeah, you like the. Okay, the third book, Verity by Colleen Hoover. Okay, now this is my kind of book. I love crime, I love mystery, I love thrillers, I love horror. So reading this was good, but I said the WTF word more than 100 times when I was reading this book. I was like, do you understand? Like, it's that kind of book that you should be like, okay, what's going on? Is everyone so okay? So this book is talking about a writer, and another writer is going to talk about the writer, and she okay, let me not I'm not going to spoil it. The end was I am still confused because I don't know. Yeah, that's what the book will do to you. It just leaves you like, so. If you love thrillers and mysteries, you should read Verity. It's a very good book. Yeah, I recommend. The fourth book I read, The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Jenkins Reid. Yeah, that's her name. I liked that book. It touched a lot. It's about a woman who wanted more to life than what she had, or what the world was trying to offer her. So you know she had an opportunity, and she wrestled that bull to the ground. I think she's the most selfish character that I've read. But yeah, you know then it talks about that. It touched how what the how people couldn't even love openly because of the whole LGBTQ thing. Then at this book, it was the storyline is like written way back. So the struggle, how people. So the thing that stood out for me in this book, or the thing that stood out for me in this book that I learned, is how people love people differently. Like, like there's a faction of love that we can give to different people, and it doesn't mean you don't love the other person. I don't know, it's mind-blowing to me. I've never really thought about that, because okay, I'm not supposed to give out too much, but for example, there was a guy who loved his family so much, so much. He loved his daughter, he loved his family, and what he had with the wife, there was no passion, but he loved her so much, like he was never going to leave her. Then he met someone else that he loved a lot, and that was, he had the passion, he had the desire, he had the love there, but he chose the non-passion marriage over that. So it just, and there are there are a lot of characters in this book that had that kind of thing. So I think that stood out for me in the book. So and it still has the whole pop culture thingy, Hollywood and all of that. It's an interesting book, fashion, entertainment. Yeah, it's a really good book. I recommend it as well. Yeah, so I'm hoping next month I can do 5 or 6 books, because if starting with 4, it gave me this, yeah, you can do it. 'Cause last year I think I read just 12 books last year. This year I want to make it 50. So let's see, 4 down, 46 more